Is there something about females that you wanted to know but could never figure out? Are you struggling with relationships? Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of by the women in your life? Do you want to know how to leverage the playing field to your favor? Well, did you know that the female mind and the female psyche are mysterious and unexplored regions like the dark web of the internet? For this reason, men need a method of decrypting or hacking the manipulative psyche or dark web of the female mind. Once a man has a deep understanding of true female nature, he will then be able to hack her programming.
Access granted.
The purpose of this book is to help grown males evolve into men so that they can treat the women in their lives accordingly.
You win.
All right, let's get it. We got a few people watching. You just coming in. I'm gonna do a great live stream, man. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead on and talk about my guests before I officially bring them up. We're talking about today an excellent book that I read, man. Excellent book, man. But my guy RPC, the Red Pill Shove. We finna do this, man. RPC, how you doing today, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm feeling well. Especially knowing that we're gonna be talking about this today, man. Sorry,
yes,
sorry
sir.
But yeah, man. Yeah, we're gonna break this down real quick. You know, not break it down, but you know, we're gonna touch on it for the people.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And tell them why they need to read it, man.
Absolutely. Now, I believe I made you a mod on the channel way back when. So if whenever you can put the link to the book in the chat.
Gotcha.
And once it's there, anybody who has a wrench, if you will, I would like you guys to repost it throughout the podcast, throughout the live stream, so people can know how to get the book. So we can definitely do that. Liam Hendricks, what's up, brother? Fear the Nun, Kenny Davis, MPI, what's up, brother? Oh, appreciate that, ISO. I see Gerald Budge in the house. What's up, brother? Hey, appreciate this donation, brother. Nico Namaya. I don't ask for donations, but donations are definitely much appreciated. Help me to pay the light bill to keep the live streams going. So I appreciate that. Bovine, what's up, brother? ISO LeBroso says, salute Black Ram 313 and RPC brothers. Absolutely. So we're going to keep putting that link in there throughout the live stream so you guys can get the book. Hack Her True Female Nature 101. So let's get it. So for some of the people, what otherwise newbie in the Hebrew country, for some people who may not know who you are, RPC, tell us about yourself. What brought you to this manosphere space? What's your channel about? What's you about? What's your main message? Tell us about yourself, where you're from. Let us know who RPC is.
No doubt. First of all, I want to say thank you to Black Ram 313 for even having me on this platform.
Oh,
you know,
man.
just to speak to the people. So just off top, I want to say thank you, man. But for those who don't know who I am, in the manosphere, I go by the name the Red Pill Chauvinist, or RPC for short. If you go to my channel emphasizes having boys grow to men. You know, because a lot of times, you know, these young boys, they don't have fathers in their lives, or even man role models, not male role models. We're gonna break that down later on, the difference between a man and a male. A lot of boys grow up nowadays without a man role model, and I figured, you know, I wanted to send some messages out there in order to, you know, give these young boys some type of direction on how to become a man if they decided or aspire to become a man. Besides that, another thing my channel emphasizes is to know thyself, because I talk about to know thyself is to know thy God. Because, you know, a lot of the questions that people ask nowadays when it comes to even interacting with other people in society, the question really comes down to, do you know yourself? Because if you know yourself, you wouldn't even have these questions. You wouldn't even be in these predicaments or having these issues. Because like I said, to know thyself is to know your God. And when I say your, it's up to you to decide which your I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Another thing I emphasize on my channel, just to go through my channel real quick, is I talk about the red pill lens. Now, let me backtrack real quick. I call myself the red pill chauvinist. Now, when it comes to the quote unquote RP, let's keep it PG or whatever. When it comes to the RP, I'm not even just talking about women when I talk about RP, when I call myself the RP chauvinist. I'm talking about being able to see things for the way that they really are in society and world and life. It's not just about women, it's about everything in life. And when you see reality, again, you'll see you'll move differently, and you'll treat people and situations accordingly. So I talk about seeing things in reality. And the last thing that I'll say that I talk about is traveling. I think I've been on Black Ram channel before with my man Afi Kingdom. Shout out to Afi Kingdom, my brother. I also emphasize traveling, passport game. Exactly. Shout out to them. Absolutely. Because once you get your passport tatted up, because we're not talking about just going to Canada one time, right, or you thinking,
it's lifestyle.
You're going to Bahamas real quick or one trip with your mom and your dad. Now we ain't talking like that. We're talking about grown men traveling, getting their passport stamped as single men, and and just exploring the world. And when I talk about traveling, I'm not even emphasizing. You're talking about women. You could even ask Black Ram. Like, I don't even emphasize women. No. When it comes to women, because I know you guys are thinking about the women when it comes to traveling. What I say about it is the women come with the traveling. Like, if you are a person who does well here, with women, or does decent, or if you're, let me say that differently. Forget how you do with women over here in America. If you're a decent dude, you know how to have conversations, you have some type of intellect in your head, and you travel to these other countries, and you're masculine. Let me emphasize that too. And you're masculine, you can go sightseeing and all that, and you're gonna find them. You could go eat at a restaurant, you're gonna find them. So that's not nothing to stress about. And the last thing I'll say is I'm not a dating coach, and I'm not a relationship expert. That's why I say my book isn't even about dating or relationships. It's about the opposite sex. It's about understanding them, because once you understand them, you'll understand that the way that they act isn't bad or good. It just is what it is. And once you understand that, you could treat the opposite sex accordingly.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about, fam. What I like is that the emphasis is not on females as a byproduct of everything you do, and not the main point and the main focus. And that's what we're about. The Sigma Assassin, thank you, brother. Appreciate that donation. He says, hey, Ram, what did you do with Dark Ninja? His absence is puzzling. You know what? I haven't seen that brother at all. The last I heard, when he did a couple of shows, he had a job doing security, and he was complaining about that. But then all of a sudden, I haven't seen him on any channels. I know some of his channels got taken down, or he took some down and he had thrown another one up. But I haven't seen the Dark Ninja. He don't come by the show at all, or about it, about my YouTube channel. So I have no way of knowing what's going on with Dark Ninja. He's very comedic and had a great channel, but I don't see that brother, man. So your guess is good as mine, Sigma Assassin. Your guess is good as mine. RPC, man. This book, man, is a masterpiece, man. A beautiful.
Wow, thank you, man.
The first thing I gotta ask you, man, before we actually get into what is written in here, what inspired you? What made you want to write this book on her nature?
Okay. All right, great question. I tell people all the time, man, on and off YouTube, I've had a lot of interactions with women with the opposite sex in my life, period. And that doesn't mean, necessary coitus with the opposite sex, but just interactions. And on top of that, I'm a very observant person. I'm intellectual, I'm very smart, for lack of a better term. So I just started noticing patterns and sequences from my interactions with women. And the only time that I veered off what I've learned from my interactions with women was the one time I was in a long-term relationship. It was before I was going into med school, and I decided, what? From what I understand thus far at this point, this looking back, from what I know at this point about women, before I become a surgeon, I need to get a chick before I'm even in med school, because if I try to get a chick while I'm a surgeon, I'll never really know if she's with me for me or if she's with me because, because I'm a surgeon. See how I'm thinking? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I'm thinking this at like 19, 20 years old, right? 21 years old. So I get into a long-term relationship. So let's just say the long-term relationship was the only time that I didn't follow my red pill lens. I followed society's narrative, right? And at the end of that relationship, she ended up breaking up with me. And that blew my mind because when I say I follow society's narrative, I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, I'm buying flowers, not just on occasions, but randomly, buying expensive gifts during Christmas and this, that, and the third, saying, I love you more when she says I love you to me. You know what I mean? Like, these weren't things that I never gave to another woman before that, right? So for a woman, so for me to put all that time, effort, energy, you know what I mean, emotion into that woman, and for her to break it off of me, not only break it off of me, but you got to understand, Black Rand, the reason that at least that I was given, that she told me why she broke up with me was because she needed to move back to her hometown just in case her mother got, the C word. You know what I mean? Right. Now, mind you, her mother was fine. I mean, her mother did smoke bogeys. I mean, probably like a pack a day or whatever, but she was fine. How is that a reason to break a whole relationship up?
Right.
So
a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah, it's got to be more to it than that. Exactly. Oh, mind you, she was. Let's just say she got her doctorate before me, so she was getting them 6 figures before I was getting my 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? So
PC, I didn't even know you had advanced degrees, since you never really say much about it from what I've heard.
Yeah, man. I mean, for what? For what? For real though, for what? I really tell people like, I got a bachelor's degree in whatever the case may be, man. The only thing that my bachelor's degree has done for me in my life is get me into med school. That's it. You know what I mean?
I never knew you went to med school.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 3 years med school, man. But that's a whole different story. Like I've actually like dissected the whole body from the top of your scalp to your toes, man. But that's a whole different episode. But anyway, so after that relationship, I basically looked at it like, wow, the time that I followed society's narrative, it didn't work out for me. But every time before that, it did. And I'm like, yo, I think I know something about women that other dudes don't, man. So I started being more vocal about it around my friends and like coworkers. And I ain't gonna lie, Black Ram, I used to get a lot of pushback. Only my one man's that I'm still cool with today, man. He's the only one that was like, yup, and would like, elaborate and all that other stuff. So at one point, I'm thinking, am I crazy? Because I really do feel this way, because I'm a smart dude and I see what I see. Good thing I got my one man that because he agrees with me, I don't feel like I'm crazy. But then I started going on YouTube, man. You know what I mean? Because I really wasn't in YouTube like that. I was in med school. I was focused on my books.
Yeah. And
guess who came up, man? Black Ram 313.
What?
Black Ram 313 and a couple of other people, man. But listening to Black Ram's videos, I was like, oh Lord, thank you. Like, it was so refreshing. Like, I'm not crazy, because the way you were speaking is the way that I would speak amongst my group. And I will be the crazy dude. Or I'll be the dude like, yo, like your ex must have really hurt you. And I'm like, nah, B, I'm actually happy that she broke up with me, because now I don't have that. Like,
right.
Ram, real quick, I was gonna marry her just off of like feeling obligated to. Understand? Thinking like she's been with me this long.
Right.
Point in my life, like, I might as well. Not I'm so in love, I don't ever want her to leave, and you know what I mean? So, long story short, aside from yourself, also ran into, shout out to Professor MGTOW. Professor MGTOW was posting things on his Instagram that I was also thinking. I was like, I'm not crazy, and he also, was saying things about women that made me realize, like, you know what? Yo, I need to start saying something, man. And that's when I started coming out with The Manipulated Man. Shout out to the book The Manipulated Man by Esther Villar. I started coming out with videos on that book early on.
And I remember those video series.
Because
Esther Villar, man, that book is amazing. I mean, you can read it. You can read it 20 times, and each time you get more from her in that book. She just wrote that. That was just an excellent, a truth-telling book right there, man.
Absolutely.
What she revealed, it was just, man, I don't know if she's alive or well right now. I don't know what the state of, but man, Esther Villar, she deserves like a shout out, man. I mean, that is an awesome woman right there, man.
Understand that book was written in the 70s.
In the 70s.
Okay, and it still reigns true today. So after seeing that, my cousin and my nephew were like, you know what, yo, you need to start a YouTube channel. So that's basically what prompted me to start my YouTube channel. So I start my YouTube channel, and I'm like more pumped saying what I'm saying about female nature, and people are still giving me pushback or still asking questions. Like when they ask me questions like, how do I get a woman's number when I talk to her? I feel nervous when I do this, when I do that. And in my head, or even the advice that I give them is like, you know what, you shouldn't even be focused on that. You really need to be focused on yourself, on your goals and all that, because once you focus on that, you know, women will begin to chase you. But overall, what I realized was this lack of knowledge when it comes to women was blocking a lot of males from really focusing on what they need to focus on to be the best version of themselves. Because that's my goal, to make these males into the best version of themselves, which is, you know, the best man. So I figured if I wrote a book just writing the basics, so dudes just could understand just the basics. Like, why would a woman take a foodie date? Like, just go on a date with you, have dinner, and then be like, why would you think I want to sleep with you? And the dude's looking like, what? Or they be mad at a gold digger. If you read my book, I'm not mad at gold diggers.
Right.
And I explain why. So basically, the book is there to break down that blockade or that big blockage that's in the mind of most males when it comes to women, because all they thinking about is women. Because let me say it in the nicest way. Once you really know and understand who and what the opposite sex is, you're going to realize you're the prize and not them.
Is there something about females that you wanted to know but could never figure out? Are you struggling with relationships? Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of by the women in your life? Do you want to know how to leverage the playing field to your favor? Well, did you know that the female mind and the female psyche are mysterious and unexplored regions like the dark web of the internet? For this reason, men need a method of decrypting or hacking the manipulative psyche or dark web of the female mind. Once a man has a deep understanding of true female nature, he will then be able to hack her programming.
Access granted.
The purpose of this book is to help grown males evolve into men so that they can treat the women in their lives accordingly.
You win.